Hey everybody, welcome to you. It's Monday. What's going on? I am the one and very likely only Bill Sylvie, aka the Dungeon Delver, coming at you live from the Delver's Dungeon. And I hope you're having a fantastic Monday and had a fantastic weekend to boot. I am really happy to see you guys, and I hope you're happy to see me too. Welcome to it. We've got a great week ahead of us, guys. We've got some first edition AD&D tomorrow night. We have got some Conflict on Wednesday night being run by Kyle Schuant. Crossing our fingers. Thursday night, we've got a guest. The one, the only Jack Photon will be here as our guest. That's right. One of you is coming in here in the virtual sense. And we're going to have a lot of fun because Jack's going to be the last guest we have in 2023 rather. We've got some great guests lined up to kick off 2024, but I'm not going to spoil anything just yet. And Friday sees the return of first edition Gamma World. That's right. All players assemble, please, on the upper mezzanine for your doses of radiation, mutation, and confustication. So I hope everybody is having an absolutely wonderful evening. But I'm doing okay. I can't complain. The mindfulness element. Happy Monday. Holiday for some of you in Canada. Really? Well, awesome. Happy whatever holiday it is in Canada. The mindfulness element. And I think I think this is the first time I've seen you comment. But anyway, no, leave both tabs open. It makes me look like I have higher viewers than I currently do. But anyway, to move on, to continue. I hope you guys are all well, and I hope everything is going just hunky-dory for you. So that's the week in front of us. I think it's going to be pretty awesome. I had a little bit of fun this weekend, a tiny bit of fun. Most of this weekend was pretty damn busy. No fun allowed. # no fun allowed. Hopped over on the Speakeasy. You guys should really check that out. It's Ryan David, and he's the main host over there. But I really appreciate the shout out from those guys to join on and sit around and BS for a few minutes. I got to tell you though, speaking of cool things, this was really cool. And I had a few different people mention this. Now, usually 99% of the time, Matteo, good to see you. But 99% of the time, I gotta put my glasses on so I can see y'all's comments better. If something's getting promoted for the show, like if somebody's talking about the show, if someone's out there beating the drum about the show, it's me. It's me. I'm not saying you guys don't do a good job. You do. But I'm just saying out there in cyberspace, out on social media and stuff like that, I feel like, if somebody's talking up the show, it's generally because either I asked them to specifically, and I do appreciate it, or it's just me, out on Twitter, Facebook, whatever. If I want to go there onto Reddit, which brings us to this. Someone was commenting on Reddit, and I got this message from a few different people, and I'm gonna see if I can open this up. You guys will have to pardon me if this doesn't work like I had hoped it would. This is over on Reddit, and you guys can see this. I'll find the link. I'll put it here in the chat. And I completely get it if you don't want to have anything to do with that stuff over there. But this is the post here. You know what? We'll share this. So you don't have to click that if you don't want to. And by the way, guys, before I get into this, of course, This live stream is brought to you by our friends at Hellebarde Games. Hellebarde makes the kind of adventures they like to play. Whether it's for Castles and Crusades, 5th edition, or the OSR, old school is in play at the table with Hellebarde Games, and you can find them on DriveThruRPG or on their website, hellebardegames.com. Man, fell asleep, zonked. Those are my three favorite tracks off the Dungeon Minister EP. So let's take a quick look at this. 5e to 1e, AD&D and now. I started playing 5e in 2014. Through the years, I had a lot of fun playing 5e and still want to sign into Reddit with Google. Thank you, just the same. And still do play 5e with modifications. However, after Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes, I stopped buying 5e books, seeing where WotC was heading with the preview I saw of Tasha's book. After that, and leading into the January of this year with WotC debacle, I started looking for an earlier edition to pick up and try to understand. I'm going to jump in here really quick and say that I did find Deathbringer and Hardcore mode for 5e and thought these are amazing and really add to 5e while looking for early additions to D&D. Now, in pursuit of finding an older version, I found 2e AD&D. After spending 1.5 weeks poring over everything, I concluded I did not like it and started looking at 1e. 1e at first glance was way too much for my accustomed to 5e brain to handle. Combat, initiative, movement in 1e it was an archaic vista of, I hopped over to YouTube and looked up everything I could on 1e AD&D. I found so many videos on how to 1e, but not a lot of explanation and so many interpretations of what they thought it said and how it worked with their modifications to 1e. This did not work for me. I wanted to understand 1e and its complexities the way Gary Gygax intended it to be. While looking on YouTube, I stumbled upon a series created by Bill Sylvie, aka the Dungeon Delver, called How to 1e AD&D. Sylvie explained and conveyed Gygaxian to the umpteenth degree that I got it. I was so intrigued, in fact, that I purchased a 1e player's handbook. I have now gone down the first edition Advanced Dungeons & Dragons rabbit hole all the way to the bottom. I got every single 1e AD&D Judges Guild module of 1e that I want to play, about 25 so far. I got the Greyhawk Folio, the Greyhawk Campaign module. I'm still hunting for a reasonably priced original MM2 and UA, but in time I will procure those as well. With all this being said, I found myself going back to 5e and discovered it is a superhero TTRPG. With tinkering, I believe that I can indeed make 5e more playable without the superhuman theme. With my now love first and foremost with 1e, I turned back to 5e with a newfound appreciation for my introduction to D&D with 5e and a true Gygax lens I see with 5e. Folks, I don't want to break my arm patting myself on the back. I don't want to sit here with a short length of hose and blow sunshine up my own behind. But ladies and gentlemen, this is why I do what I do. This is why I do it. Am I a Manic Street Preacher? Only if you like 90s bands. But let me tell you something. If one person hears what I have to say and they appreciate it, I'll keep doing it. Proof's right there. Proof is right there. It's right there in black and white. And I thank this person. Who was this? What is this person's name? Names on Reddit are kind of meaningless. No_Mark_3072. There is an AD&D subreddit. I'm not going to get into the comments because way too many people were like, oh man, just use Osric. It's a lot less confusing. Or I play 2e. 2e is the cleaned up version of AD&D that's easy to understand. Man, let's just bask in the awesomeness that is this post. And a little bit of praise for me. I just thought it was really nice to see that today. Ricky Maru, it's going just fine. Michael Dale, hello, how are you? Thorben, I've said 5e has had good bones from the get-go. I play tested 5e. I play tested it for hours and hours and hours. Many sessions of 5e did I play test. Where it's at now, it barely resembles the game it started out as. An attempt to pull us away from the awfulness of 4th edition. Orbital Air, good to see you. So I was so happy to read this. Thank you to this person, NoMark3072, for a true positive RPG story. And I'm glad I was able to be a little bit of an ambassador, because that is what I try to do. Christopher Sackle, good to see you. Greetings and we'll met to you as well. So that was a very cool thing to read this morning. I was quite happy about that. And then I turned and I dove straight into writing projects I had to do, and I didn't come out until sometime after 6. And I realized, oh crap, I have to do a show tonight for you folks. You lovely, lovely folks. So let's just kind of roll on a little bit. Let's talk about RPG news, and this is a damn shame, and I don't have a screen to show you for this. I literally found this out like 5 minutes before the show started. One of the earliest things I ever talked about on the show, and I will talk about them to the bitter end, which is coming. But one of the earliest things I ever talked about on this show were the awesome, fantastic, amazing, and insert other superlatives here, of Otherworld miniatures. Now, you might say to a guy who has a shelf of shame and a 3D printer, what the hell do you care about miniature companies for? First of all, any company that does metal miniatures in this day and age, big ups from me. Cheese wagon, hello. Second of all, Otherworld miniatures looked like what I want AD&D to look like on a tabletop. All right. I want normal looking adventurers with packs on their backs, with pouches on their belts, with world weary looks. I want my drow to look weird and alien. I want my trolls to look wiry and horrifying. My giants to look giant. I want my kobolds to look like Dave Trampier's and David Sutherland's rendition of kobolds. Pig-faced orcs, Japanese-looking hobgoblins, runty, blunt-faced goblins. You guys know what I'm talking about. But unfortunately, I found out today, Otherworld miniatures are shuttering in 2024. I was devastated. That's horrible. I've supported them for as long as I've known about them. I have so much unpainted and painted Otherworld miniatures. I may move on them tonight and just buy like a dozen more trolls. You know, just like 3 troll boxes from them. And if you still don't know who I'm talking about, in the opening credits to the show, with the music, the wonderful music, Summer Mountains by Bards of Greyhawk, you see that beautiful 3D rendition of the cover of the Player's Handbook, painted by me, a little kit-bashed lizard man lying on it. That's the company that makes it. If you want one, even if you don't think you're going to paint it up anytime soon, Go buy one because you won't have access to them soon. We will be talking about Otherworld in past tense. And so it's sad. Ricky, he says, I believe he just said that it's just wearing him out. He wants to shop out some of the molds and whatnot to other companies, but honestly, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Now, let me tell you, I'm not dissing other miniature companies. Dark Sword makes absolutely gorgeous stuff. And they make some very adventuring, practical looking stuff too. So I'm not crapping on Dark Sword or anything. But it is a shame. It is a shame. And they will be missed. So that's the unfortunate RPG news of the day. So let's see. Oh, yes. Well, it's Monday, and we got to think. Speaking of miniatures, I was just thinking about this today. Now, if I'd had a little bit of lead in the whole miniature shelf over here, I would have I would have just done. In fact, for the rest of the year, I'm just going to put up Otherworld miniatures to take us through the end, even the unpainted ones I have, yes, through the end of 2023. Ralpartha is now Ironwind. Much of Grenadier, like a huge percentage of Grenadier, is owned by Mirliton. You can check them out. But let's check this out. Let's check out the miniature. Bum bum. Behold in all of its glory. Right there, folks. Right there. Look, look, look. This is a Chinosaur. Oh, he's showing his butt. That is a Chinosaur Bulle. That is a Chinosaur Bulle. A friend of mine sent that to me because he got a box of them. Like, he literally bought up bags and bags and bags of Chinosaurs. The company that made the variety bag of dinosaurs that these came from, they stopped making them. And because of that, these are now unobtainium, as are the owl bears and so on and etc. So there it is, the miniature of the week, the original Chinosaur Bulle. And folks, I'm just going to tell you straight up, as soon as I find an STL of this bad boy, and I have looked. As soon as I find an STL of this bad boy, you better believe there will be a print run. You better believe it. So you also better get your wallets out. So I hope you liked tonight's mini, and we're gonna do Otherworld. We're gonna do Otherworld for the rest of the year. But so that's what's going on the miniature front. Did I mention? I'm gonna check this dimension. Did I mention? I think I did. I feel like 99% confident that I did. Let's pull this up here. Yeah, guys, we're at 5,062 subs. Thank you for the love. Keep it coming. Do I frown on players using the mount spell? Players are free to use utility spells however they want. I can just as easily have no magic zones where they fail. I will, Peter Scaglione. I absolutely will. Let's put that up there. Let's see. I mean, guys, these are going to become unobtainium real quick. And he will stop making them sooner than later. So there you go. There's the link. Otherworld Miniatures. It's in the chat. Okay, so Cornelius Nolan asks, you love the intro song, and I mentioned Bards of Greyhawk made it. It is not on an album. That track was composed just for this show. It's called Summer Mountains, and I'll tell you a little bit about the genesis of that song. It's not by Genesis. Is someone messaging me? Sorry, I had to respond. So Summer Mountains, I basically joked for the better part of a year, one day I'll get music, and I was going to go out and just get just a generic piece of music. What do you call royalty-free piece of music to use as an intro, something kind of like what we hear. And the guys over at Bards of Greyhawk reached out to me and said, hey, we will do your music for you if you'll promote us for a little while. And I will continue to promote them forever because of Summer Mountain. So they said, what do you like? We got together and said, well, what do you like? And I said, well, when it comes to like what I want for an introduction to the show, I said, think of like Allman Brothers, like their Idlewild South album. Think of like Led Zeppelin's acoustic instrumental stuff. White Summer, Black Mountainside. Braun ER. Things like that. And so they took my suggestion and went out and did this absolutely incredible track, Summer Mountains. Now it is, as far as I know, it belongs to the show, but like I'm not going to press out 45s like that on one side and Owlbear on the other and sell them and then just rake in all the profits. But as far as who it belongs to, I mean, honestly, if the Bards, if Rich Lopez, if those guys reached out to me and said, hey, love you to pieces, thank you for the promotion, we're going to sell this and then it's going to become copyrighted, just be prepared for that. I'd have a lot of work to do on a lot of videos to mute it, and then it would never get played again in the front of videos, but I would do it for them because they're awesome. But so I have nothing but love and respect for the guys at Bards of Greyhawk for that great track, as much as I do for the work Bob Antone did on Owlbear, which he did give to me. So I do appreciate that. Yeah, I do have to ask them permission, Vaughn. We've played it in its entirety, like when it debuted on the show. We did play it in its entirety. And I had intended, when I was going to do that insane 24-hour live stream back in March. Well, at first I was going to do it like, yeah, I'm gonna do it before this date. And then I found out I was going to GaryCon. I said, I'll do it after GaryCon. And after GaryCon, I got human malware, and attempting to do a live stream for 24 hours nonstop would have literally landed me in the hospital. You know, I mean, when you think about it, yes, it would have. So yeah, the Let's Play Summer Mountains in its entirety did not happen. But I'll reach out to Reach. I'll reach out to Rich and find out if I can do that for you guys one day. I will find out if I can do that for you guys one day. But anyway, so we talked about stuff that's coming this week. First edition AD&D is tomorrow night. Conflict is Wednesday night. Jack Photon is Thursday night. And Gamma World is Friday night. The following week, I can guarantee you, I won't have a guest on Thursday. In fact, I won't have a me on Thursday because the following week is Thanksgiving. I'm not sure how much I'll have going on Thanksgiving as far as a show, right? I might come in and do Monday and D&D, but then the rest of it's just going to be just dead air, you know? So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. I want to make sure, did I miss anyone's comments? By the way, if you've just stumbled in to the show, if you've just kind of rolled in and you're like, hey, what is all this about? You know, who is this crazy guy in the wizard hat? Is he about to say you shall not pass? Because you're not subscribed, please click the subscribe button, click the bell icon for notifications, and leave us a comment down below on the video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up and tell us what you like about it. And if you don't like it, well, leave a comment below and tell me what you didn't like about it. And I'll do more or less of those things to please you guys because I'm here for you. There you go. But also, I do want to point out, if you'd like to support the show and become a patron, you can do so for as little as $1 a month. You can also support us via YouTube memberships, which is either over here or over here. But you can click that little ding-a-ling there and support us for $1.99. I can't control the prices on YouTube much. So at the $10 patron level or the $9.99 subscription level on YouTube memberships, every month you will receive a first edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons mini module adventure from yours truly. You're quite welcome, Derek Madden. I'm here for you people, not corporations, man. You're quite welcome, Derek. So that's a thing you can do. That is a thing you can do if you'd like to. But the best thing you can do is what this person in passing has done on Reddit, which is get the word out there, guys. I would love to get over 10K in 2024. It's not going to happen. I understand it's not going to happen, but I would love it if it did, because when we hit 10,000 subs on this YouTube channel, you're going to see some serious shit. Because at 10,000 subscribers, we start the ball rolling on an in-person gaming convention. Like the micro tabletop RPG old school smorgasbord doesn't have enough to eat on it already, right? So spread the word. There's 26 of you out there. If you each get 500 if you each get 500 people and 500 friends to subscribe to the channel in 2024, that'll let me see. No, I don't think that many. I think it would be 250 a piece, wouldn't it? Let's see. So 10,000 minus 0.62. Each of you just needs to convince 189 friends to subscribe to the channel. And we can do... Oh, no, there's only 24 people watching now. We have to recalculate. 2 people decided to make it harder. Oh, no, 22 now. So each of you now has to get 224 friends to subscribe to the channel if you want an IRL DelverCon. The Guac. I will keep the naming convention. The Great Underground Overland Gaming Convention. The Guac. Collecting Chaos. Well, everybody, go subscribe to Collecting Chaos, too. Go do it. If you're not subscribed to Collecting Chaos right now, if you want to stay in this chat, bans will be issued for people who do not go subscribe to Collecting Chaos. Go do it. Go do it. Go do it. Ricky's channel, too. This is a pyramid scheme. This is a rising tide lifts all boats scheme. I don't have any animus about any fellow old schooler YouTuber. Any of you. So you guys, you guys got to go right now and subscribe to all the great channels, all the great people that I've had on. Dungeon Minister, RPG Grandma, our MIA boy. Vile Necromancer, buddy, come back to us. We miss you. Yeah, I wake up tomorrow and I've got 100,000 subs. But subscribe to them all. Please do it. He's collecting chaos, and he mostly does comic book stuff. But I mean, come on, comic books is good. Although I will ask you, collecting, just in passing, did you see like the heavy news? It's come down. So we have a chain based out of Florida here that does comic books, and I've gone to their stores a few times. I always look, if I see a store that's like comic book store, comic shop, comic and games, whatever, I will dip in to see if somebody brought in to trade in for Pokemon cards or whatever, you know, and some old school RPG stuff. You laugh, but it is as it is not as uncommon as you might think. And there's one that's been around here in Central Florida, Florida in general, forever. It's called Coliseum of Comics. And I'll say even more so than Enterprise, they have been a cornerstone. They have been solid. They've been foundational in this state. They're all over the place. And things are bad for them, for all comic book shops. There are no more. Let me tell you something, guys. There are no more comic book stores. There aren't. And before you stop me, before you say, but Bill, you just said Coliseum of Comics, and you mentioned Sci-Fi or Enterprise, which became Sci-Fi, which has now become a store called literally FLGS. Well, think about that. It's called FLGS. It's not even comics. I want you to think about the last time you went into a comic store. What did you see? See tables of long boxes of back issues, people digging through them looking for that one Spider-Man that they were missing. See a spinner rack by the door full of fairly low selling titles or stuff like that. Shelf upon shelf of the new issues. Or did you see magic cards and Funko Pops and action figures? McFarlane Toys, manga. Because I can almost guarantee you it's the latter, not the former. Comic books have been ruined because comic books were taken over by people who hated comic books. When I was a youngster, a comic book company, DC or Marvel, that did not move 250,000 issues on it. That was a minimum, guys. That was a minimum. 250,000 issues a month. No returns. I'm not talking about 250,000 pre-orders. I'm talking about 250,000 issues going into 7-Eleven, Magic Market, the spinning racks in front of Kmart, being picked up by kids. You were a failure, and you were going to get shown the door. Your stories were bad, or your art was bad. Just didn't click with the fans. And people loved comic books. In the 1980s, Marvel saw fit to run a comic book about a trucker, and adventures he would have along the way. Nowadays, it's been a few years ago, but some of the comic pros were raving because an X-Men title, you don't believe me, you can look this up, an X-Men title topped 80,000. 80,000. The free comic book your kids got with their fish dinner at Captain D's in the 1980s could move 80,000 issues. Let that sink in. They're crowing and celebrating moving 80,000 issues. Comics is run by people who hated comics and ruined them on purpose. To own the chuds. Now think about that. You see some scary parallels with tabletop role-playing games? Because I do. I keep promising to do this, and then I keep not doing it, but there is a video coming tomorrow. God willing, it may be me in my car. it may be one of those videos. But there's there is a spreading decay. And what is the saying? The fish rots from the head down. The fish rots from the head down. That's the saying. There is a spreading decay. D&D sales are down. Wizards of the Coast Hasbro stock is down. And we're going to talk about that tomorrow. So you got to stay tuned to this channel, because we're going to talk about that. Wizards of the Coast traditionally has had a license to print money. I want you to think about, not over the last 7-8 years, but prior to that. I want you to think about the Star Wars property. Wizards wrested away the license to make a Star Wars RPG from West End Games. Well, likely West End couldn't afford to keep paying the license fees, but there we are. They've had so many hot properties, and they've let them all slip through their fingers. What do they have anymore? Now, Dungeons and Dragons? We'll see tomorrow. We'll talk about those sales figures tomorrow. Good evening, Jorge. It's good to speak to you, my friend. How are you? Guys, no one is coming to save the tabletop RPG industry. No one is coming to save Dungeons and Dragons. If the CEO of Tencent, I want you to think about how horrifying a thought that is. If the CEO of Tencent made a put tomorrow to move on Hasbro to get Wizards of the Coast, you think you'd have a place to purchase PDFs of classic D&D stuff? Be gone like that, because they only want it for one thing. We're on the precipice, ladies and gentlemen. The hobby might be safe for now, but something like that could send shockwaves. Look at how video games behave. Look at video game companies behave. Look at how god-awful litigious they are. Nintendo has shut down multiple charity events without batting an eye. The bad press that WotC introduced back in January wouldn't even register on their legal department's radar. If a company like that gets a hold of D&D, it's going to be bad. It's going to be very, very bad. And when it happens, and guys, I'm saying it's going to happen. Maybe later than sooner, but it's going to happen. I'm not going to say to any of you guys, because you're listening and you know, I have a smart audience here, all right? You guys are some of the most brilliant, gifted people in the hobby. I have a brilliant audience. There's going to be a lot of people that I warned in 2014 when other properties started getting dragged down. Guys are going to come for us. We're going to get hollowed out by these long marchers. And then the companies that create the things that we love are just going to get scooped up and sold off. That's going to happen to us. It's happening to video games. Cast your mind back to 2014. It's happening to video games. Then it happened to comics. But all the way back then, everybody said, no, Bill, that's crazy talk. You sound like a conspiracy theory meme, Bill. What's that rumbling sound? This foundation's starting to crumble. And I wish I could tell you that I'm just doing this for people's attention, but I'm not. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Wizards is just a few missteps away from basically farming this stuff out, creating a digital property, bundling it up, and selling it to Microsoft's Xbox division. You guys think you know what corporate chaotic evil is? You ain't seen nothing yet if we wind up in Bethesda, Microsoft's hands. Or, again, Tencent, Vivendi Universal, somebody like that. Wizards' malfeasance, their use of corporate private law enforcement, PMCs, that's going to seem like a gentle caress on the cheek compared to what those fuckers that I just mentioned will do to us. So that's how it is. That's how it is. me get some of your comments here. Quit with the tinfoil. Hey man. I can't back off. I can't back off. I'm too far. I'm the pills. They're too strong. The pills are too strong. So I just scroll up here. Oops. Oh, I went way too far. What is this garbage? I'm not even gonna. I don't know what the hell that is. I'm not even gonna respond to that. Not even gonna. That doesn't even merit a reply. Sorry, I went all the way up to like pre-show. I missed Walden Books. What'd I say about Walden Books? Did I miss Walden Books? Let me see here. War Machine. War Machine was a fun game. Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong. Hypercam, wasn't War Machine like a spin-off of an RPG, but then the RPGs just kind of withered and died because everybody just wanted to play War Machine? That's right. I have 2 D&D books that have Toy Store price stickers on the front. Or do you mean Miss Walden Books like you wish it were still here? I do too. I miss Walden Books. Walden Books and B. Dalton. I was a Walden Books guy, but you could find me in B. Dalton occasionally. What about Paizo? They're big compared to everybody else, but if you zoom out, Vaughn, they just kind of disappear into a sliver. I have tinfoil hat under the wizard hat. Well, Kevin, I said knock at the door. Is the Pinkertons coming to rough me up? No, I don't think so. Respectfully, I disagree with you, Kevin. I want more people to play D&D. But, and this is important, I want them to learn the way. You're only a tourist as long as you don't take off the ugly touristy shirt and you're loud and obnoxious to the locals, and all you do is take air-conditioned guided tours. If you're willing to step off that pathway and really see what it's like and dig your fingers and toes into the sand, you're not a tourist anymore. Blurry it's the panoramic lens. It's blurry out on the edges. I can't control. That's optics. Unless somebody wants to buy me a Panaflex that can stream. Does anyone have $250,000 I can borrow every 60 days? I don't think I'm going to get supers like that. But if anyone wants to try, the super chat button is just down there. I'm teasing. Diablo was a lot of fun. I liked Diablo. It's funny thing. Blizzard went and asked Gary if he would endorse Diablo early on. Because I mean, Blizzard. I don't know if they were doing Warcraft at that point. I honestly don't remember, but yeah, no, they asked, like, hey, would you endorse this? And he's like, I don't know. Nah, probably not. And then it really started to take off, and he was like, hey, you guys still want me to endorse Blizzard? And they're like, nah, I don't know. And probably not. There, I gotta do. You know what? I think I may do a review over the holidays or something of the new Proving Grounds and the Mad Overlord, and I'll tell you why. Hey, Kevin, at first I was like, "Oh, okay, all right, it's whatever." But here's the thing: this just blew me away. The guts of Wizardry Proving Grounds of the Mad Overlord, the way it works. The remake of it is a brand new graphical engine, but it is grafted on top of the code for Wizardry 1 running on an Apple II emulator. You have enough horsepower. Hear me out. You have enough horsepower in a modern PC to run an emulation of an Apple II running an advanced graphics library that will render the graphics of the new Wizardry 1 remake. The mind flayers are real. They're already here. I tried to warn you people. You wouldn't listen to me. Your brains were downloaded. They sold you to Tencent. What are we going to do? You guys want some Alex Jones before we wrap up tonight? I haven't brought the Alex Jones for a while. One super chat gets Alex Jones. Yeah, Kevin, it's literally running on top of the Apple II version. It's not a reinterpretation. It's a graphic reinterpretation, but all of the gameplay runs on top of the Apple II Wizardry code. Engine Joe says, I attempted to play the Neverwinter Spelljammer and couldn't even beat the mess with level 20 PC. It's definitely a group pay. Yeah. Hey, RPG Grandma. I was just telling people to go subscribe to your channel. I better get cookies at Christmas, Grandma. And not molasses, no-bake cookies, please. I beg of you. Oh, hi, Mike Dymart. You snuck by. I didn't see you. I see you going over there. All right, Alex Jones paid for it. Vaughn Gifford paid for the Alex Jones rant. $2. Just put that in. Wave of Mutilation, thank you very much. You guys are really feeling it up here because we got like 7 minutes left. I'm so sweat. That sounds kind of, I don't know, RPG Grandma. All right, so here we go. Folks, I tried to warn you, but you wouldn't listen to me. The Circle of Eight is out there. They're putting ESP potions in the water in the city of Greyhawk. I tried to warn you, and you wouldn't listen to me. And they're taking over. What do I do now? Tell us, what are we supposed to do? But you wouldn't listen to me back then. Well, I'm telling you now. When the Circle 8 comes to your house as part of Proclamation 23, and they're there to collect your short swords, and they're there to collect your crossbows, then you're going to understand. Then you're going to understand, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I tried to warn you about. It's a new Flan order. That's what they want to implement. The Circle of 8 inside the Vicine Forest. But you wouldn't listen to me. No, you laughed at me. Well, I'm here to tell you it's happening now, ladies and gentlemen. It's happening right now. The Circle of 8, they put all their plans in effect. And their secret meetings they have in the Gnarly Woods, in the Vale of the Mages. And you can go to one of those newfangled temples where you can take a knee. You can take a knee in front of Herodias and say, what do I do, Lord? Help me, Lord. But we're going to have to rise up, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to have to rise up. That's what we're going to have to do. You're going to have to get your potion filters. You can buy them for me. You can buy them for wherever you want, but make sure you got a supply of water. You got a supply of crossbow bolts. You got a supply of iron rations. And get your loved ones, and you get up into the Cairn Hills, or you get up into the Rakers. Get yourself a plot of land, because it's coming. VI, VI, VI. That's right, the number of the beast. Oh, how was that, guys? Did you enjoy that? I can only do that for like 3 minutes nonstop. The Blue Chew. I have seen ads for it. I'm afraid to even ask about that. I'll have to come up with some actual material and give you guys a little Christmas present, like Christmas greetings from D&D Alex Jones or something. But I hope that was worth your $7. Yeah, no kidding. I have a throat lozenge in the form of a bottle of vanilla porter I'm going to be enjoying during my AD&D game tonight. VI is an energy drink in Greyhawk. Oh my gosh. So, tomorrow, again, first edition AD&D. Wednesday, Conflict, unless Kyle's got something going on. Yeah, $7. That's a bag of Ricola these days. Oh, Orbital. Yes, I did. That was back first week of October, actually. Second week of October. Anyway, yes, I did get up there and I had a lovely time. I met Bluto. I met Imperial Ramblings. I met another buddy of ours who we used to live stream with, Bama Sports, Bama Football Talk. Big John was up there, and I had a blast. And those of you guys who contributed to the GoFundMe to help that happen, I will forever be in your debt and great. Tuscaloosa was lovely. You know what? Just the atmosphere around being at the stadium, and I sat in a section. Okay, you guys, no D&D talk here for a few minutes, guys. But I sat in a section, and it's like we're all, of course, the vast majority of us Alabama fans. The visitor student section was directly catty-cornered across from the stadium from us, so there were no Arkansas fans around us, but it was amazing. There was a gentleman in front of me and to my left who had a set of polarizing glasses you could look at the eclipse with, and I saw it when it was at its maximum occlusion, which for that part of the country was like 2/3 coverage. We had a flyover, a B-2 bomber flew over and stood on its wing as it turned over the stadium. But everyone in our section, it was a lot of fun. I hope I can do it again someday, but if I didn't, I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun, and it was a ton of fun. You too, Connect. You too. Wild boars versus the elephants. Yes, the pachyderms. I know. Michael, I was like 9 minutes left in the fourth, and we were only ahead by whatever it was. I was just like, please, no, don't let the only Bama game I've ever gotten to see in person end like this. But yeah, we held on, and it was good. I've never been so happy for an event I was at that I was there ostensibly to enjoy to end as that. Yeah, it was oodles of fun. Hey, listen, guys, I have thoroughly enjoyed tonight. I've got some stuff to do. It is, it's spot on 9 o'clock. Hey, Hey, watch it. Watch it. We're coming to get you guys. We're coming to get you guys in a couple of weeks. Just be prepared. In Jordan Hare. I flew up there. I flew into Birmingham and drove down with Big John, and that was like an hour's drive from it. So I did not drive. I'm driving to Alabama. I'm sorry. But it is about a 12-hour drive one way. So anyway, thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. Thank you to Vaughn and Wave of Mutilation for the supers. That was lovely. I really appreciate it. Guys, if you haven't already, please click subscribe. Please click the bell icon for notifications. Join us over on Patreon or on YouTube memberships if you'd like to support the show that way. And have an absolutely lovely Monday. We'll be back tomorrow playing some first edition AD&D. Okay? All right. I'm going to do this thing, and I'm going to need you guys to keep your eyes open and look out for the owl bears. Good night. Mwah.
Have you seen my owl bear? Here's to all the weirdos everywhere in the woods and in the air. Have you seen my owl bear? Should I shave off all my hair? Bobs are all around. Some live in tunnels underground. Some are fat, some are rich, some are sleeping in a ditch. Can you ride a crooked horse without a saddle, way off course? Naked as a toad, all the way to Smoky Joe's. Have you seen the little creep driving fast in his little green Jeep? He smells like fish and brandy, but his rotten teeth look dandy. Take me to the show, I don't care if fast or slow. From action flicks to dancing dicks, just take me to the show.